Today you're going to learn about the 5 methods I use to make weight loss more sustainable and less crappy. Let's get to it. See, weight loss isn't all sunshine and rainbows, but it doesn't have to be a horrible experience either. My name is Aleksa, I'm a sports dietitian. I'm here to help you achieve more with nutrition and reach your peak potential. And today I'm going to teach you the 5 steps or the 5 key strategies to help make weight loss more palatable and easier for you. But first, please subscribe, hit the bell so you can stay in the loop with all my nutrition videos and so that you don't miss one thing. So without further ado, let the strategies commence. So the first one is actually really nice and simple. And it's something that I use with clients that are starting out, clients that are more down the track. Doesn't really matter. Sometimes people just need something easier, especially if their lifestyle is busy. And the first one simply is focus just on calories and protein. At the end of the day, they're the priorities, okay? They're the priority duo, as I like to say. So unless you're like an athlete where then you have to focus on more specifics around macros, you got to look at carbs and potentially fats and all that sort of thing. If you're just a general gym goer trying to lose some weight or trying to build some muscle, focusing just on calories and protein will be sufficient, especially when you're starting out. So don't overcomplicate the process. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're just kind of stressing over the numbers, which I find a lot of people do, then just focus on the calories and proteins for now until you're ready to move past that. Or if you're just happy where you're at, you can keep moving forward with that. As long as overall you're eating a balanced nutritional diet, then you're gonna be fine. But calories and protein dictate, and they're the ones you need to be focusing on. So the first step for making weight loss more easier is just focus on the numbers around calories and protein. The second thing is also nice and simple and relates to protein is eat enough protein, okay? When you eat enough protein, your diet's gonna be more satiating. When your diet's more satiating, an energy deficit becomes easier. So you gotta eat enough protein. And how much should you eat? Well, I'll put the thing here, but it's about 1.6 as a minimum per kilogram of lean body weight. Okay, that's gonna give you the requirements you need to not only rebuild muscle, but also retain muscle, increase satiety, and help with the thermic effect of food. Okay, so eating enough protein can have a lot of benefits, but you obviously don't wanna overdo it too much, but you wanna get enough. And enough is about 1.5, 1.6 grams per kilogram of lean body weight. The third thing is a mindset switch, okay? That's what I like to call it. It's a mindset hack, and it's something that's going to really help you if this is something that you struggle with. So what I tell my clients is log it, enjoy it, learn from it, move on. Okay, if you implement that in your lifestyle, if you implement that in your nutrition plan, you will do a lot better and it'll be a lot easier. You won't have to stress as much. And when there's less stress, obviously things become easier. So that's something that I want you to start implementing with your plan. Simply put, it's the whole notion of just get back on track, okay? The best thing you can do, especially now leading into the festive season, so if you're watching this right now, it's right in time for the festive season, the best thing you can do for yourself is get back on track as soon as possible. A lot of people stress about, oh, I'm gonna overeat on that day. Okay, you can mitigate that to an extent, but let's say you don't, doesn't matter. Next day, hop back on track, you'll be fine, okay? A lot of people stress about the individual days, the individual meals where they go over the calories or don't hit their macros, so to speak. But as long as you get back on track and you have the mindset switch of getting back on track as soon as possible, you will be fine and will make this whole process easier. It will make the whole weight loss more sustainable because you're not gonna be stressing as much and you're gonna realize that the small things don't matter and the bigger picture is just as important. So yeah, if you want sustainable weight loss, make sure you have the mindset to actually get back on track as soon as possible and keep moving forward because that's the way you're gonna win. Now the next one I want to talk about is a really effective strategy that I like to use, and I call it the pause method, okay? Where essentially you're kind of pausing, so to speak, your process, your journey for the sake of sustainability. Now I'm going to explain exactly what I mean here. Okay, so how this would look was, let's say you're now in a calorie deficit, okay? So you will just then decide, because this has to be personalized to you, you'll decide, okay, I will try and be in a calorie deficit for a month, okay? So for a month you're in a calorie deficit. But then what you're gonna do is have what's called a diet break, okay? That's where the whole pause thing comes in. You're gonna go back to your maintenance calories and you decide then how long you wanna be on the maintenance calories, okay? Is it gonna be another 4 weeks or is it just gonna be 1 week just to give you a bit of a break and then back on track onto a deficit? Then maintenance, then deficit, then maintenance, then deficit. That's essentially what it is. You're pausing, so to speak, your process. You're pausing the weight loss for the sake of giving your mindset a break, just making it easier on the body, and also just giving yourself the sense that you're not perpetually dieting. You're just dieting in little bits and pieces, but still have a long-term strategy. And that's why it works so well. So diet breaks can actually work well. But what I will say is, unless you're quite comfortable or quite experienced in this, I do recommend you work with a dietitian when you're doing a diet break, just because you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to go above your maintenance, and you just want someone there to be accountable to, because when you're in the dieting mind frame, you don't want to be kind of playing around with increasing calories without knowing what you're doing. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, leave a comment below or reach out to me. But yeah, work with someone if you can, because that's going to be more effective when you implement this strategy. But nonetheless, it's a good strategy to increase the sustainability of your weight loss process. And then the final thing is establishing your own rules. Okay, so there's rules in life. There's rules in all areas of life. But what are your rules around your nutrition? What are your rules around your lifestyle? Do you have any? Okay, I'm actually asking this question right now for you to think. Do you have any rules? Because if you're not establishing rules, then it's very easy to kind of sway away from the path. It's very easy to kind of justify something different. But if you have rules, then there's no gray area. It's black and white. You know that you should or should not have this. You should or should not have this at this time, and so on and so forth. It doesn't matter. It depends on what the rule is. The point is, you've got to create and establish some rules around your nutrition. Let me explain. So let's start off with saying, like, let's say you have some trigger foods. Okay, let's say chocolate's your trigger food. Well, then perhaps you create the rule, because remember, you still got to be flexible. So you create the rule that you can have chocolate, but you can only buy a chocolate bar once or twice a week. And that's your rule. That way you know that you will have some chocolate, but you're not going to have the chocolate around to be a trigger for you, because you've established some ground rules. You've established some environmental changes around it. So that's what you want to be doing. Then, like, let's say if you're looking at like a social event, let's say that's your kind of advice. Let's say you struggle when you go out to Christmas parties, or you struggle when you go out and eat with friends. Well, perhaps you create a rule around that where, okay, I'll only use a small plate when I'm at a family gathering, or when I'm out, I won't order chips, or I will always order the small combo meal, or something of that nature. You got to create some rules so that when you come into those circumstances, those situations, there is no, this or that. You know where you're at. It gives you clarity, and that takes away stress. It makes the process easier, and therefore makes the process a lot more sustainable. In essence, what it creates is structured clarity, as I like to call it. Okay, it's structured, but there's clarity. Okay, you know what you got to do, and there's no denying that. And like I mentioned, the process has to be individualized. The rules have to be individualized. They can't just be arbitrary. They can't be someone else's rules. They have to be rules that are for you, that are flexible enough to still maintain sustainability, but still create that structure and that kind of that control that you need to still get results. Because sometimes we need to have some rules around certain aspects of our life, especially when it comes to nutrition. Otherwise, things will not be as effective, or even if they are, they might not be sustainable, because eventually you don't have the rules to keep you in place. So there you go. Now you have the strategies that I like to use to make weight loss more sustainable. Now there's other strategies out there, but the ones I shared today are the ones that are, they're unconventional. They're not the typical ones you'd hear. Okay, they're not the typical ones of, just eat more veggies and things like that, or just think about a diet you can sustain. Those are obvious. I want to share ones that you perhaps haven't heard of, haven't even thought about in a while. So hopefully they've now kind of given you the motivation to actually start implementing them, start getting more effective results, and start getting more sustainability with your diet, because that's really going to be the key for long-term success. You don't want to be falling off the bandwagon. You don't want to be stressing around your diet and your nutrition. So this will hopefully help you do less of those. Now, what I want to know is, did this all make sense? Okay, I really want to know if this made sense. So leave a comment below. Okay, leave a comment below if it didn't, or if it did. What's your main takeaway? What's the thing that resonated with you most of this video? And what's the one strategy that you want to start implementing now in your nutrition that you're going to feel is going to have the most impact when it comes to getting you results? So yeah, share that below. Okay, let me know. Otherwise, you can send me an email. If you want to chat for an email, I'll put it here, theclimbedietitian@gmail.com. So reach out there if you would like. Otherwise, leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. I'll help you out. I really want to help you. So share your thoughts with me. So yeah, as always, please share with your family and friends. Okay, share the message. Other people will benefit from this just the same way that you have. So share this with those that you love and trust. Remember to like. Okay, hit that like button. Just smash it hard, because you want to show that you love for this video. You want to show that this video has helped you out. Subscribe, obviously. Okay, subscribe to this channel so you can stay in the loop, as I have mentioned before. Stay classy. I'll talk to you next time. You have a good one. See ya.